By default, when we enter tasks into a project likes to enter the duration 1 day, question mark. At some point, we have to either accept the 1 day by overwriting it with 1 day or enter a different duration. Now, first of all, let us check what our default is. Under File and under Options, and particularly when it comes to Schedule, we got to say what our default duration unit type was. Duration is entered in days. So by default, if you were just to enter 2 in the duration column, it would think that was 2 days. Now besides days though, you have other duration units, and these are under Advanced. And as I scroll down, there are actually 6 types of duration units. You can enter a duration in minutes, which is an M. You can enter a duration in hours, which is an H. You can enter a duration in days. You can enter durations in weeks. If you put 2W, it would be 2 weeks that you would be saying that was the task duration for that task. You can enter months, MO, or you can enter years, which is a Y. So there's 6 types of duration units. We typically tend to stick to hours and days. The others are too large or too small. So those are your duration types and your default. Now the idea here, for example, is if I go plan house paint and I decide, right, the plan house paint is 7 days, I can just enter 7 and then hit down arrow because the default duration is days. Immediately, by putting a 7, the question mark is gone from that particular task. You can also see that the bar has lengthened to 7 days. It's actually 8 days in length because one of those is non-working. So it's 7 days, that task, but it's going to finish whenever. And then you just go down putting those durations. Now the important thing to understand with task durations as well is the task duration is not how long it takes to do that task. How long it takes to do that task is work hours. The task duration is how much time are you giving them. For example, I might decide, okay, to paint that door is going to take 2 hours, but I'll give them a day to get it done. So understand that the task duration is how much time you're giving them to get it done, not how many hours it takes to get it done. So for example, if I have 10 doors and it takes 2 hours to do a door, that's 20 hours. I'll give them a day, which is only 9 hours, but then I've got 3 painters available, and so they can be working on 3 doors at once. So they can still do those 20 hours in a day. So let's go down and put some durations in. So 5 for this one, 1, 1, and 2. So even if it's 1 day, still overwrite it with a 1. Now don't enter durations for the summary tasks. Here's walls, for example. If I go in and put 10, what I've now done, and you can see it here, is changed it to a pin. It's now gone from being an auto-scheduled task to doing a manually scheduled task, and the bar doesn't look right. It's now wanting you to actually start manually setting things up. I want to change that back to an auto-scheduled. So don't go entering durations or start or finish dates for summary tasks. They are derived by the subtasks. So look at this one, planning. Planning is 7 days, starting on the 6th, ending on the 13th, because of the longest task underneath it. The longest task underneath it is 7 days, starting on the 6th and ending on the 13th. So the summary tasks details are derived by the subtasks. All right, prep walls, 10, 5, 1. Trim, 5, 2, 1. Doors, 7, 3, 1. Landscape, 14. Fence, 7. And shed, 14. Notice also I've left the milestones as 0 duration, so they continue to show as a diamond.